At the start of the movie, we meet Kraven the Hunter, a prisoner being transported by Russian soldiers. The prisoners start picking on him, but Kraven quickly teaches them a lesson by fighting back. This lands him in front of the sergeant, who, seeing the state of the prisoners, asks Kraven about his past. Kraven answers strangely, saying he's a hunter and hunts people like the sergeant. In an instant, Kraven attacks the sergeant, knocking him out and stabbing him in the neck. Kraven then escapes the jail, revealing that he's not just a regular person, he has extraordinary abilities. His big jumps and fast movements show that he has powers like a cheetah, and he can climb walls effortlessly. In no time, Kraven is out of the prison. However, things don't get easier for Kraven as an ice storm hits. While running through the storm, he encounters a wolf that might have attacked him. But Kraven stands still and stares into the wolf's eyes, making it back off. Afterward, Kraven boards an airplane and reports to someone that he's completed his mission, killing the sergeant. It turns out that Kraven had not been a prisoner, but rather had been placed in jail as part of his mission. Next, we flash back to Kraven's past. He and his brother are shocked when their father comes to pick them up from college. The reason? Their mother had taken her life. The boys are devastated and expect to go to her funeral, but their father, a cold-hearted gangster and drug dealer, takes them hunting instead. He believes that the funeral is for the dead, and since their mother ended her life, it wasn't worth mourning. Their father was trying to toughen them up, teaching them how to hunt and kill animals for profit. On one of these hunts, Kraven and his brother face off against a lion. Kraven doesn't fear the lion and locks eyes with it. The lion, intimidated, hesitates, but Kraven decides not to kill it. However, his father, Nikolai, shoots the lion, enraging it. The lion attacks Kraven, dragging him through the forest. To save his son, Nikolai shoots the lion again, but it continues to attack. The lion throws Kraven aside, and in the woods, a girl watching the scene sees Kraven injured. She puts a special serum into his mouth, and Kraven begins to heal rapidly, gaining strength. Soon, a rescue team arrives, and Kraven is taken to the hospital. Though his condition is critical, even the doctors declare him dead. But in a shocking twist, Kraven suddenly comes back to life. When he wakes up, he finds the card the mysterious girl had given him. His father and brother are there, happy to see him alive. Kraven may be alive, but he's still in bad shape. Despite this, his father takes him home. At home, Kraven's father has a surprise for him. He reveals the face of the lion that attacked Kraven. Kraven is furious because he doesn't want the lion to be killed. His father had killed the lion in revenge, and this enrages Kraven. He tells his father, "You shouldn't have done this." After hearing his father's anger, Kraven's frustration reached its peak. His father, seething with fury, pulled Kraven away from the situation and stormed toward their home. Once inside, Kraven headed straight to his room. The weight of the situation pressed on him, and he began packing his belongings in silence. In his hand, he held the card the mysterious girl had given him years ago. The very same card that had sparked his change of heart back then. The memories of that fateful moment flooded his mind as he packed, feeling the pull to return to the place where everything began. Under the cover of darkness, Kraven left without a word. As he passed his brother, who had been watching from a distance, the younger sibling rushed to him, trying to stop him from leaving. "Brother, you can't leave me," he pleaded, but Kraven's resolve was firm. He turned to his brother and reassured him softly, "I'm not going too far. I'm going to the place where Mom used to take us." With those words, Kraven disappeared into the night, heading toward the forest that had once been their mother's favorite place. The forest held the memories of their mother's love and care, and it was there that Kraven sought refuge. Upon arriving, Kraven immediately found himself in a dangerous situation. A herd of bulls charged at him, their powerful bodies threatening to trample him. Instinctively, Kraven lowered his head and stood still, hoping to survive the oncoming stampede. As he shut his eyes, he braced himself for the worst, but to his surprise, the bulls veered away. When he opened his eyes, he found a lone bull standing protectively in front of him, as if it had shielded him from harm. Kraven's heart raced in disbelief as he stared into the bull's eyes. The bull slowly stepped aside, and Kraven, in awe, moved forward. He continued deeper into the forest and arrived at a familiar campsite, the one his mother had once brought them to. This place, still as beautiful as he remembered, became Kraven's new home. There, he made a life surrounded by animals. He came to see the forest as his true home and the animals as his family. Over time, he began to experience strange new abilities. He could run as swiftly as a deer and leap between trees with the agility of a monkey, and his strength rivaled that of a lion. His connection with the forest and its creatures grew stronger, and he reveled in his newfound powers, feeling a sense of freedom he had never known. One day, Kraven came across a pair of hunters in the forest. They were attacking a group of buffaloes, cutting their heads off as trophies, and anger surged through Kraven as he watched the senseless killing. He approached the hunters, furious, and told them they had no right to harm the creatures of the forest. The hunters, confused and unfazed, pulled guns on him. That was the final straw. Enraged, Kraven launched himself at them, overpowering them with his enhanced strength. He fought them so violently that both hunters were killed in the process. From that moment on, Kraven made a vow. He would never allow another hunter to harm the animals of the forest again. The scene shifted to the present, where Kraven was once again in the forest. This time, however, he arrived by plane, having tracked down a group of Russian mafia hunters who were killing buffaloes. As he surveyed the scene, he grew angry once more. The leader of the group, seeing Kraven's approach, warned him to step aside or be run over. Kraven, undeterred, refused to move. The hunters gunned the engine of their car, attempting to drive him off, but Kraven was too fast. He swiftly jumped into the car, engaging in a fierce battle with the hunters. Kraven managed to save the truck they were using, but the leader's car sped away before he could stop it. However, Kraven noted the license plate number, vowing to track down the leader. The scene then shifted to the office of the leader, who had returned to report to his boss. When he entered the room, he was shocked to find Kraven waiting for him. The man, confused, asked how Kraven had reached the office before him. To his horror, he realized that Kraven had already killed his boss. Kraven then turned to him and asked coldly, "How should I kill you?" "Let me check my diary." Kraven flipped through a small, worn notebook, a list of people he intended to eliminate. Upon finding the leader's name, he crossed it out. Without hesitation, Kraven drew a gun and shot the leader dead, before leaving the office with a sense of finality. The camera then panned to show the dead bodies of the two hunters, gruesomely hanging from the door. Years passed, and the girl who had once saved Kraven's life had grown up. She was now a successful lawyer, though her work came with many dangers. She faced constant threats from enemies who wished her harm, but she remained resolute in her pursuit of justice. One day, while attending the funeral of a close friend, she was approached by Kraven. In an unsettling calm, Kraven revealed that he had killed the man responsible for her friend's death, the Russian sergeant who had raped and murdered her. The lawyer, unable to comprehend the truth at first, was left in shock. Conflicted, she returned home and began to investigate what Kraven had told her. After conducting her research, she confirmed that Kraven's words were true. Hunter, the man who had killed her friend's murderer, was none other than Kraven himself. To her astonishment, Kraven showed her the same card she had given him all those years ago, confirming that he had never forgotten her. It was a moment of revelation for the lawyer, who realized that the boy she had once helped had become something entirely different, a hunter with a singular mission. The girl says to Kraven, "You are the hunter who is killing all the mafia members. But in my opinion, you're also a criminal. You're killing too." Kraven, without showing any emotion, replies, "I don't care." He then pulls out a diary and hands it to the lawyer, telling her, "You're in this field. Criminals are released from your court every day. I just want you to write down their names in this diary so I can get rid of them." The lawyer reluctantly accepts the diary. The scene cuts and we are introduced to a man named Rhino, a dangerous mafia figure involved in all sorts of illegal activities. Shocking news reaches him that his biggest enemy, a powerful gangster, has been killed. Rhino is stunned, wondering who could have had the guts to kill such a powerful person. He had no part in the death of his enemy, but he decided that they should join forces with whoever did it to avoid future problems. Rhino also plans to take over his enemy's business. Rhino goes to meet his enemy's men, but when he does, they shoot him in anger. However, Rhino doesn't die. It's revealed that his body has turned as tough as stone, thanks to a strange serum he injected into himself. As people are left shocked by his invincible body, Rhino's snipers, who had been hiding, shoot and kill everyone else. Only one man, Morris, is left, and in fear, he joins forces with Rhino. Meanwhile, Kraven's father, Nicholas, calls Morris for a business deal. Since Morris had already teamed up with Rhino, the question is, what will he do now that he's face to face with Kraven's father? It turns out that Morris and his men were sent by Rhino to kill Nicholas. At a signal from Morris, his men begin attacking Nicholas's guards, but Nicholas proves too strong. He kills Morris and all of his men. Rhino, enraged by this, hears news about the person who killed his enemies. Though he doesn't say anything, his expression hints that he's planning something big. Back with Kraven, he sneaks into his brother's room on his birthday, which they're celebrating in their dad's bar. Their dad asks why Kraven has distanced himself from the family and urges him to come back, but Kraven refuses. After the party, Kraven leaves his very drunk brother at home. His brother stops him from leaving, and Kraven ends up sleeping on the sofa. But he's used to sleeping in the forest, not on a sofa, so he goes outside and sleeps in the garden. The next morning, Kraven goes to wake up his brother, only to find the bed covered in blood and his brother missing. Someone had kidnapped him. Kraven immediately begins chasing after the kidnappers. He jumps down from the building to catch up with their car, but despite his efforts to break the windows, the car is bulletproof. Unfortunately, he falls off the car, and the kidnappers drive away with his brother. As the kidnappers take his brother towards a helicopter, Kraven tries to climb a rope ladder from a nearby ship to catch them, but the helicopter's speed causes him to fall into the water. Worried, Kraven goes to the lawyer and explains everything. She uses her resources to find out where his brother is. Kraven also learns from his dad that the kidnappers are part of the mafia and are holding his brother for money. Kraven suggests they pay the ransom, but his dad refuses, saying it would make him seem weak. He'd rather risk his son's life than appear weak. Kraven is furious and decides to rescue his brother on his own. A man soon arrives at the lawyer's office with more information about the kidnappers. He even knows their location. The lawyer is thrilled, but just moments later, the same man meets with someone from Rhino's group. It's revealed that the kidnappers are working for Rhino, who plans to trap Kraven. That's why he's been sending Kraven all the information himself. Kraven follows the man to the location. When he arrives, he begins fighting the guards, who are armed with guns. Even so, Kraven manages to defeat 2 of them, take their sniper rifles, and kill the rest. He eventually reaches the room where his brother is being held. Before he can free his brother, Kraven has to fight the leader of the kidnappers. As they struggle near a window, Kraven realizes that it's all a trap. The window breaks and they both fall. As they fall, large stones are thrown at them, and Rhino believes Kraven and his men have been killed. He laughs in satisfaction and releases Kraven's brother. The scene cuts to 2 men who are checking to see if Kraven is dead after being buried under the leaves. To their surprise, Kraven is still alive, and his hidden powers are revealed. He fights and kills the 2 men, taking their guns before heading out. While walking, Kraven calls the lawyer and warns her that the mafia is after her too. He tells her to leave quickly before they come for her. The lawyer listens and leaves her office, taking an aircraft to the location Kraven instructed her to go. Kraven had called her to the forest, which he considered the safest place. As they walk toward his camp, a cheetah suddenly attacks Kraven. But Kraven, used to these situations, fights the cheetah like it's one of his kind. The cheetah gets scared and retreats. The lawyer, impressed by Kraven's strength and bravery, watches in awe. The scene shifts to Rhino's office, where he learns that Kraven has survived and escaped. Rhino's men send out spies to track down Kraven's whereabouts. One spy returns with a wildflower that was found where Kraven had been buried, and it's known that Kraven lives in the forest. Rhino now knows where Kraven is hiding. In the forest, Kraven asks the lawyer if she still has the medicine she gave him when he was a child. He says it was powerful and he needs it again. The lawyer tells him that her grandmother had made the serum, but she's dead now, and no one else knows how to make it. As Rhino's men, led by a spy who has a special injection to kill Kraven, search the forest, Kraven is ready for them. He had already set up traps, and Rhino's men fell into them. Kraven starts attacking them, and the sounds of the fighting confirm to Rhino that Kraven is near. The spy, revealed to be a magician, uses his magic to escape from Kraven. But during their fight, the magician injects Kraven with the deadly serum that almost kills him. Just as the magician is about to shoot the fallen Kraven, the lawyer appears and shoots the magician from behind, killing him. She rushes to Kraven and, despite claiming she didn't have the serum, reveals that she does. She administers the serum, saving Kraven's life. With the medicine, Kraven wakes up, fully healed and revived. Rhino hears from his men that the magician succeeded in killing Kraven, and he celebrates, believing his mission is complete. However, as they leave the forest, a massive herd of buffaloes charges toward them. Rhino, fearing for his life, injects himself with the same serum that turns him into stone. The buffaloes attack their cars, destroying them and killing many of Rhino's men. Rhino, now turned into a giant stone, faces Kraven. Kraven attacks Rhino without fear, but soon realizes that Rhino's strength is greater. Kraven understands that he has to fight with his mind, not just his strength. He uses a rod to strike Rhino's weak spot, where he injects the serum, weakening him. Kraven then ties Rhino with a rope to a group of buffaloes. As the buffaloes run wild, they drag Rhino away, causing him immense pain. Kraven, furious, is about to kill Rhino with a gun, but his brother stops him. Kraven then asks Rhino, "Who sent my video to you? Who told you about me?" Rhino laughs and reveals, "It was your dad." Heartbroken, Kraven goes to his father to understand why he betrayed him. His father explains that he knew Kraven was killing the mafia and bad people, and Rhino was his biggest enemy. He couldn't defeat him, but after Rhino killed one of his friends and took over his business, he couldn't take it anymore. His father admits that he provoked Rhino to attack Kraven, knowing Kraven would never back down. By having Kraven clear the path for him, his father has become a powerful mafia boss. Kraven, disillusioned, listens to his father's explanation but leaves, knowing he cannot follow in his father's footsteps. Just then, a wolf attacks his father. The wolf attacks on Kraven's signal, but Kraven doesn't intervene. He believes his father deserves the same fate. In the post-credit scene, we see Kraven and his brother living peacefully. The mafia is gone, and Kraven has left that life behind. Both brothers are happy with Kraven finally at peace.